Bonjour, Juan. Buenos días.
Buenos días, Jacques. ¿Cómo estás?
Good. And you?
¿Cómo ça va?
Ça va, ça va. Bueno.
¿Qué tal?
David will be late.
Sí, un poquito tarde.
Okay.
¿Cómo has estado?
Ah.
Si nos llegó por ahí.
Good morning.
Bonjour, Kona.
Bonjour. Buenos días.
Buenos días, Kona.
Buenos días.
How,
¿Cómo
how
estás?
was how was your week, Kona? Busy?
Yes. Pretty busy. We will be moving this weekend. So I tried to have a big breakfast to get me through our meeting and into the afternoon, since we will be moving into our new apartment. So I'm happy about that. Yeah.
You are close to New York, that's right?
I'm in New York State, about 4 hours from New York City.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm in the country.
Oh, okay. Like me.
Yes. Lots of farmland, which is nice.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty. I like the rolling hills and the green grass and being out in nature. It's easy to take walks here, which is wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're in the countryside too?
Completely
Oh.
alone.
Aw.
I have a land of 1 hectare, 600 meters.
Wow.
So, yeah.
All by yourself, except for when the grandkids come, right?
Yeah.
Do you farm? Do you have lots of like farming?
No, just a garden.
Okay.
But I have animals on my lands because
Oh,
I cannot cut the grass. So for this time being, I have 80 sheep. 80.
wow. 80.
Yeah.
Do you get their wool and or milk?
No, it's not mine. It's there is a how do you call a guy who sheep sheeper
Shepherd.
shepherd. Yeah.
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 Nice. Very interesting. But I bet it's fun to see the sheep out grazing.
Yeah.
They're realistic.
Oh, are we
They are.
showing our faces? Hello, good afternoon.
Good
Bonjour,
morning.
Marthe.
Bonjour.
There you are.
Bonjour, B.
Hello.
Hello, Kona.
Hi, Martha.
Hi, Juan. Hi, B.
Hello.
How's your
Lovely
trip?
words from Daniel.
Yes.
Hola, Marta. Hola, B.
Hola, doctor, ¿cómo estás?
Hola.
Bien, bien. ¿Cómo estás tú?
Muy bien, gracias.
Me alegro mucho.
I got an email from David. He will be a little bit late.
Yeah.
A quarter of an hour late today, so maybe we have to start.
Yes.
Because Geoff, I don't think Geoff will not join.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's too bad.
B, you're on your telephone?
Yes,
Okay.
I am. I'm just
Good,
healing,
good.
so I can't really stare at the screen for too long.
I know. Ouch,
How's it-
that sounds sore.
How are you
No,
feeling
I'm
after your-
okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's not painful?
No, I'm lucky. I've been following all the directions, taking my rest. So far, I think the healing is going well.
Is this laser surgery?
No, it's intraocular lens placement.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
wow.
it's a little bit more invasive. They put because of my high myopia, they put like a hard lens in the like in my eye, but in the front part of it. I guess is the best way. It's sort of like having an internal contact lens.
It's almost like surgery where they replace the lens.
No, yeah, so they did not replace my lens. I can't do that until I am at least 60. That's what they said.
Mhm.
I asked for that operation actually, but they said no, we don't do it for younger people because the risk of retinal detachment's too high.
So this is just
Wow.
a permanent.
For age, I guess, is what I'm saying. I was wondering, well, why is 60 okay? But I think it's because of the age, right? The risk of retinal detachment is higher because they have to actually take out your lens, your natural lens during that procedure.
Good luck.
Anyway, I'm quite pleased. Thank God everything went well. And thank you for your prayers. I felt, you know, a presence before the surgery, so I felt confident that that I would be okay.
It will
So
all go well.
I appreciate all the prayers.
Will we may
Yeah.
be, but
Now we can move on.
Mhm.
Have a 1 minute silence to center ourselves in our mind, heart, and body, so that we connect to our celestial friends which are waiting here. Daniel always told us they are on time, so we are on time. Join us, my dear friend, so that we have a good session today. We know better where we are going on, because sometimes it's a little bit bumpy, but we have faith on your support as we have faith on our effort to do the job. Join us today as you did in the past. And if Sandra, you are here today, please join us and come through Kona if you want to have an introduction word. Amen.
I have to turn off my screen because this is pretty strong. And I'll let you know when Sandra's ready to come through. Just give me a minute. Good morning, my friends. This is Sandra. Thank you so much for being here today and being present with me and my team. We welcome you into this space of collaboration and appreciate you so much. You have grown leaps and bounds, and we are so excited for this new space, this new place of being and moving forward. You are adopting all of the things that we are bringing to you readily, quickly, wholeheartedly, with tremendous warmth, generosity of spirit, and cooperation with each other. Thank you so much for this, for your diligent work, especially your cooperation, dedication, wholeheartedness, depth of gratitude. It brings us great joy to see these things from this side. So for today, spend just a few minutes reviewing the questions that I left you with. No need to take a long time here. You have a lot of work ahead of you, and feel free to move on to those other things, those other tasks and questions that you have not yet completed with David. But just take some time this morning to reconnect with each other since your last gathering and reflect. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you, Sanjad. Thank you, Kona.
Thank you. Thank you, Kona. Thank you, Sandra.
You know, Sanjad, last time we had a discussion between the group, and one member has his own vision and his own mission as well, that we understand very, very well. So now we need to recenter ourselves, to reconnect ourselves on the task at hand. So we see this task as Family Learning Center to set up something really all together. And in my view, we think to join the Family Learning Center exercise with the syllabus exercise, because I see it as the same task at the end. Am I right in my thinking, Sanjay?
Well, thank you for the question. I would suggest that you check in with your peers and see if you are in alignment with these thoughts with each other. And even though you have a member missing, just as you connected through those electrical circuits in your last meeting, this member and all of your members are really only just not visible. They are still clearly connected in our estimation. Those circuits cannot be broken. So rest assured that your team is intact and will continue to function where they are, doing exactly what they need to be doing.
That's a good news, Sanjay. That's a good news. Any other question from a member? B, please.
Hi, yes. Thank you, Sandra. I also have a question for you, Jacques. If you could, or other members, if you could please clarify what the syllabus is about. I'm not 100% sure I understand how it works or is going to work.
Okay.
How to build the syllabus?
The syllabus is a number of something like 98 items. It's a document on Montreal side, like, you know, explaining what is love, divine love, what is wisdom, what is truth, you know.
Okay.
For
So is
example,
it, sorry, go
yeah.
ahead.
For example, this week I share with my Urantia book French readers the book of Donna D'Angelo about the 12 women. They don't buy in this document because it's something that is, let's say, channeling, so they don't accept it. So you see, where is the truth here? So this is a type. This is a type of a subject we need to develop. And in my view, and now you have to check internal with your own thought adjuster. Does this subject is linked with our family learning center? Because tomorrow I think we will have to learn to children what is trust. How do you trust your parent? How do you trust others? It's why I think it's fitted in our exercise as well.
Okay, so it's sort of like a glossary document, sort of like like a definition of these various values.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe yes.
And what is the length of each glossary or each item?
Don't know yet. We have
Okay.
to start an exercise first. Yes. Martha has a question.
I think you're muted, Martha.
You are muted.
Sorry, it was noisy. Thanks so much. And also thanks, Sonia, for being here. It is my understanding that those 98 items were only one part of the, they're almost like qualities of soul, because they spoke about the fact that they're almost merontial, that they're part of our soul's growth. And so they're useful for us to remember, because the syllabus is also about spiritual qualities, but all the other things that we were asked to do, the questions about best practices in different cultures, are also part of the syllabus. So the syllabus will grow as we understand more. And the other part is the history. So at least there are three things there: those spiritual qualities and all the messages from the celestial teachers. Then there's the exact research with different cultures to get the best practices. And then there's also the into all the cultures of the world of academic best practices in parenting in the different ages that we're going to treat. So there's at least three different parts to the syllabus as I understand it. And I was just wondering if Sonia can give us guidance there. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the question. Think of the syllabus like your encyclopedia or your dictionary that gives you a common foundation for all of these terms. In your context, your language differences give you different definitions for words and different understandings and different experiences related to those terms. By creating the syllabus and working within the syllabus, it gives you a common ground from which to work. So how does that syllabus function within the Family Learning Center in each of your contexts?
That is my question. I don't know the answer.
How I see it myself, Jacques, is because when you will teach, for example, trust to the children in the family center, we will extract the data from this syllabus document, which are this spiritual background, foundation, and creating example to these people. For example, last two sessions ago, Kona report a good example of in Japan, I think, about training children to respect elder people, putting them in their shoes. That's a typical example. That is a typical exercise we would like to see in the future. The road is long, for sure, for each item of the syllabus, but this is how I see it. Juan, did you have an idea? Or you comment on this yourself?
Mm, Hola, buenos días. Sí, yo creo que el syllabus tiene que ver con reunir todas esas 98 palabras, relacionarlas con las transcripciones y además relacionarlas con la vida real. De esas palabras, sacar lecciones para niños de diferentes edades y también para adultos. Eh, Todo compaginando las transcripciones con la vida real, con el conocimiento que hay, que existe en el planeta ahorita. Que si por lo menos las transcripciones no nos hablan de una palabra en especial, pero que es importante, habrá que buscarla en el conocimiento universal. Hacer lecciones acerca de esas palabras, por lo menos. Vamos a hacer una lección para enseñar a los niños el amor fraterno. Entonces, a través de cuentos, a través de una clase donde se dan ejemplos entre los mismos niños, ahí se puede enseñar mucho. O sea, cada palabra tendría una lección o muchas lecciones de diferentes niveles de dificultad, de acuerdo a la edad del niño. Sacar de esas palabras cuentos, sacar lecciones, sacar videos, sacar que enseñen en sí a, a, a los futuros dueños del planeta a llevar el planeta como debe ser. Gracias.
Thank you, Juan. B, I'm not sure you have understood what said Juan because you don't have the translation on your telephone, I suppose.
I do actually.
Okay.
I do.
Okay.
So I think I'm just trying to figure out how others will use this syllabus. So the syllabus can be written by us. I'm just wondering how it will be used. So and I'm thinking aloud here. My understanding of a syllabus is it's sort of like a little bit like an instruction manual. At least when it comes to like a syllabus at a university, it's basically an outline of the course that will be taken and how things will be evaluated, what kinds of assignments will be expected, things of that nature. But I guess we could always make the syllabus, like if the syllabus is an instruction manual that can be used by others to follow what we are doing, then I can, like, I guess I'm thinking of it, I'm trying to think of it from a functional standpoint and what use it would have.
Marta has a comment.
Thank you. I was also, just before you spoke, Jacques, I was going to use that same example that Kona had used of the Japanese children in the bus. And when Juan spoke about linking it to both the transcripts, those words, and to real life, I thought if one goes into world literature, all the videos that exist in the world, and you get examples like that. So for respect, you have that beautiful video showing the Japanese children in the bus. For all the other words, we look for the best example in Chinese, Russian, Afghani literature and drama, and we use images because, of course, we're using a new generation of children who don't want to read words in a text. We want to show them living examples on video or from world cinema. So I would suggest that we actually use those 98 items and go and look for the best examples of them in all the well-known films in the world, or ask other people to guide us if we're not aware of those examples.
I think it's a very good idea. Starting by complete our list, secure our list first, and then looking for each item an example. I don't know if Sanjad has some comment on this, but I see it very clearly. It's a way forward. Jacques, Sanjad.
Yes, thank you.
If you
This
want to,
is Sandra. You are doing quite well in your understanding as a group for the purpose of the syllabus. Each of you has contributed to what it is actually. So if you take all of your comments together, you are all quite right in how to process and to use the syllabus. Does that help?
yes, it helps.
I have a comment, if you don't mind.
Yes, B.
Yes, and this is sort of to do with the syllabus and maybe not to do with the syllabus. Just something came to mind when you mentioned the video of the Japanese children on the bus, and it made me think about, you know, all the different best practices, the indigenous best practices from each culture. But it also reminded me of some of the malpractices that exist in all these different cultures. And the example of, and I don't know how relevant this is, but I guess I'm just saying what came to mind. And that was that although, you know, being an Asian myself, although respect of the elders is very, very important in Asian cultures, I think it's also important to bear in mind, not that the video would be quite, you know, of a specific situation, right? But I think it was also important to bear in mind some of the weaknesses of that respect of elders, which in practice and with my own personal experience can be actually harmful if taken to extremes. So although I think it's a good example of how to have respect for your fellow human being, just because they are elders, I don't like. I think for me the point is the bus. You know, you want to be respectful of people who are not as strong as you, who may have more needs than you. But I just think the respect should be not just automatic respect for elders, as has happened in Asian cultures. I don't know if you're aware of that, but that is actually a weakness of Asian upbringing, which is changing.
I think B, the idea is not to show one example, because when they put in these children, when they put in the shoes of elderly people, they put also in the shoes of women who are pregnant. They can put in the
Okay,
shoes of little children who need assistance. So you see,
right.
it's very wide. The question you raise, it's an interesting question. Do we show only positive example, or do we also sometimes show weaknesses? I've
Or
understood.
how do you deal with it with the
Yeah,
different cultures that may come to your center with different backgrounds?
Martha has a question. Comment.
I think, and I loved what B said. I think Daniel has pretty much explained to us that we can only show best practices. But there's a beautiful example on TikTok of a little boy whose grandmother keeps on breaking her container that she's eating out of because she's quite old. And at some point, and his mother gets furious at her. And at some point, the little boy goes and he buys 2 metal containers, and he gives one to his grandmother and he gives one to his mother. And his mother says, "Why do I need this?" And he says, "Mom, because one day you'll be as old as my grandmother, and my wife might like you as little as you like my grandmother." And it was such a beautiful story of a young boy finding a solution to bad behavior from his mother. So I think there are examples where we could show best practices, but also point out the weaknesses that all of us humans, Asians, Westerners, you know, people from other cultures, that we all share because we're human.
Yes, I have heard another version of that story, and it is Yeah, it's pretty much the same. It's just that the elder eats with a certain wooden spoon that is only for the elder, and then the child one day buys another wooden spoon, and the mother asks, "What is that for?" And he says, "That's for when you become the grandmother."
And
So yeah, so it's a similar thing. And then
so we
yeah,
should look for that example.
yeah.
Yeah, but in this case, in my view, we turn the weaknesses on a positive side.
Yeah.
So we are always
Right.
toward positive, even if we
Yeah.
show a negative. Because
Well, the
it's
lesson is
weak.
you should always treat others the way you would wish to be treated.
Yeah.
Juan, any comment or any suggestion to go ahead with what we said? Juan?
Hay algo que todavía tengo duda, que es, ya definimos cuáles son esas 98 palabras o conceptos. Creo que si no lo hemos hecho, debiéramos acometer ya esa tarea. Yo supongo que si la... Adelante. Adelante.
No, it's true. We have just listing the words, a number of words, and this is not what we need. As one exercise in this team is to go this list and to take maybe 10 now. And we say we work on these 10 because there is no need to work on 98 to start. But maybe 10 is a good number. I don't know. What do you think?
Sounds reasonable.
I'm one of those, sorry, I didn't put up my hand. I'm one of those who likes the idea of us finishing the 98, having the list with all the glossary, and then starting, because it's such exciting work, you know, for me saying, wow, how will we start looking at world cinema and look for the example? So I think I'd like to see us finish the 98, go to the transcripts, get all the information, because I know we've started. Jeff has also started and given us a lot, so we need to put it all in one place.
B, do you like this idea?
If that is to happen, how is this going to fit in with our plan to begin work on the center? Because we have this would be another ball that is in the air. If you know what I mean, we're going to be juggling another ball. So how does this fit into the proposed timeline that David proposed? How does this fit?
The general timelines program of David is more what he call entrepreneurial activity for the project itself. Here, in my view, we are preparing the bricks, age bricks of this big project. So it's just a parallel activity. It's in my view. Don't know, Juan, do you think it's okay?
I think he's frozen.
Yeah,
Juan? Oh, I see.
No entendí. Por favor, ¿podría repetir?
Estamos preguntando cuál sería la mejor forma de comenzar. ¿Comenzar con 10 palabras, los primeros 10, y trabajar con ellos, o hacer todos los 98 y después comenzar con los primeros 10?
La última opción. definir las 98 palabras primero, porque vamos a estar indefinidos, no vamos a saber qué es lo que vamos a buscar en realidad. Ya teniendo las 98 palabras definidas, entonces ya nos podemos poner de 5, 10 cada uno. Si es posible que cada quien agarre 10 y las desarrolle, para que no haya repetición de trabajo. Porque si, por ejemplo, Jack dice sinceridad, y yo también busco sinceridad, cuando venga a ver un poco de información repetida, ¿verdad? ¿Somos cuántos? 7. Dividamos las 98 entre 7 y cada uno desarrolla cada segmento. Ahora, vemos que hay deficiencia en algunas búsquedas, entonces las podemos reforzar ya a última hora. Pienso así. ¿Ok? Podría repetirle a las personas que...
You understood that, Jacques, that he's suggesting that we look for the 98 and then we divide them so that each one does 10 or 15, depending on how many we are. So
But
we can't hear you? Oh.
Oh, yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I said it's manageable this way. But also when we will be, we have done those validation, we will ask, in my view, Sanjad to validate the item so that we are working, because here we need to work in parallel with the celestial. It's there is no need to work on one item, which is not the most important one. Okay. So I suppose, I don't know if Kona is still connecting with Sanjad, but does this make sense to Sanjad that we work this way? Select the 98, then pick a group of 10, but we need the validation for each word in the syllabus.
Hello, this is Sandra. Yes, you are quite right in identifying these terms and finding them in the transcripts that have already been given. The information in the transcript should be complete to give you the definitions in the full syllabus upon research. It will be valuable to you and future generations to have this compiled in one place. It is a good beginning. You are also right in understanding that this can be a parallel work to other work that you are doing at the same time. But we see that you love to do this research so much in this team. It will bring you great joy to find what it is that you're looking for, like a needle in a haystack, as you say, and bring these things all together to explore, to discuss, to grow deeper in your understanding. Does that help?
Yes, it makes sense for me. Martha? Could you answer that?
It certainly makes sense to me too. I'm not quite sure how to find the 98 in the transcripts. If there are thousands of transcripts, maybe you can help Jacques?
But we say that, but if we look at the list we have already available somewhere in my file, I can tell you we are not 98, but we are many items. Yes, Juan.
Bueno,
Juan?
yo propongo que las personas que no tengan esa habilidad de búsqueda, tranquilos, con que 3 o 4 personas nuestras puedan hacerlo, lo hacemos. Lo más importante es cuando estemos ya definiendo y validando cada palabra. Ahí sí tenemos que estar los 7.
Yeah.
¿Verdad? Pero los que no tengan esa habilidad de búsqueda, no importa. Yo puedo buscar todas si quiero, pero claro, necesito el tiempo. Pero yo creo que es bueno repartir el trabajo entre varios, o sea, es como porque a otros les gusta también, a Jeff le gusta, a Jack le gusta, creo que a B también le gusta la investigación. Entonces, pero lo importante es que definamos cuáles son esas 98 palabras para entonces acometer la búsqueda.
Yeah.
¿Qué les parece?
What I propose you is to review the Excel file which contain many words, not 98, but a number of words, and I will resubmit to you so that we can work on for the next session. But you can work on this week as well to go through and check. Yes, Kona?
Yes, this is Kona. I'm not getting clarity from Sandra on where to find those things. So what is coming to my mind is some conversation that we had, I think, with Daniel, and possibly elsewhere. And I just don't remember where the conversation was, if we can go back and look. But there is apparently in the teaching mission, as the teaching mission unfolded, the core 98 terms that you're talking about were completed over a 2-year period of time. And so somewhere, I think it's in the teaching mission, that if you go through the teaching mission transcripts, that in a 2-year period, it's like the Celestials taught this same syllabus curriculum, and it repeated itself every 2 years. So that's the cycle to look for within the teaching mission transcripts, as I understand it.
Okay.
If that will help you pinpoint where to look for the information. I think I had that conversation with Daniel, and I can't remember if it was with you or in a private consult with him.
Yes, Martha?
Yeah, I just wanted to agree with you totally, Kona. I think definitely that was the idea, that there was a 2-year that many of us got, and that would have been in the PMG, all those different, NETs and the PMGs, and all those were part of that. But it's not only Daniel's. I was wondering, how many different groups must we look at? Or were they all taught exactly the same? If we go only through Daniel's groups, will we find them? Or must we go through different groups?
I would say start with one that you're familiar with, and then you should find a parallel in the other groups, or maybe missing pieces. Yeah.
No, if
That
you
would be.
go if you go in TM Archive, it's a huge database. If you do go to DNL Institute, it's a huge database as well. So with Daniel and these 3 databases, you are very good. Yes, Juan.
Ok, creo que lo que dice Kona es bastante cierto. Creo que ellos repetían cada 2 años el mismo programa, por diferentes maestros, diferentes grupos. Yo por lo menos cuando voy a hacer una búsqueda, yo busco por lo menos a Daniel. Y ahí escribo la palabra que necesito. Y entonces él me trae todo lo que tenga Daniel con esa palabra. Ahí yo comienzo a revisar transcripción por transcripción, a ver cuál es la que tiene el concepto. Hay unos que solamente nombran la palabra, pero no dan concepto. Pero hay otras que sí te explican qué es lo que está. No nos vamos a limitar solamente a los PMG, ni a los NET, ni a los NEC, ni a los NOC. Vamos a ir mucho más atrás, a los grupos originales de Australia, a pescar todas esas lecciones que hay inmersas en esa transcripción. Entonces, es como yo te digo, que es cuestión de saber buscar y se encontrará. Eso es todo.
In the past,
Gracias.
thank you, Juan. In the past, if you go in the PMG group or net group or conversation with Manjur and son, those who made the transcript, they did a very good job because they made a summary. And if you look only at the very first page, all the subjects are covered. So only going to the first page, you will see. So I have some paper copy. I have electronic copy I can go through to research. But we have already some item on our list anyway.
Yeah.
B, you are quiet.
I think I understand a little bit more now, but I still don't quite. Okay, so let me get this straight. The 98 items, are they definitively known to us at this point? Or where did we get the number 98?
From Makiventa and
Oh,
Sonjad.
okay. Okay, so that was one of the meetings that I missed. Okay, so and then they're leaving it up to us to identify 98 items that have been introduced as part of a teaching syllabus that occurred in 2-year cycles. That's what I'm understanding.
Yeah, you're correct.
Okay,
Kona?
so, but this does not specifically focus on the family learning center. So I'm still wondering how this is going to go together.
Kona's hand is up.
Kona, please.
So think of it like this, this document exists on the other side. It has not been compiled. Think of it like the origination of the UB. All these papers existed. They all had to be approved and questioned, and there was this back and forth with celestials before the UB was put into one. And what I understand, you're literally being asked to create is a new book of a syllabus of these things that is a platform from which to work, which will be essential in your family learning centers and elsewhere. So it's simply bringing together this information that exists on the other side, but is not necessarily compiled in one place and usable to anybody. And once you have this work done, then it can be used by everybody.
Okay. Now, how does this, okay, so that makes sense. So in what order and in what order priority are we going to what is our priority? So our priority is to do all these things in tandem. That's a lot to bite off, I think. Or are we just going to focus on the syllabus for a period of time and then set the other entrepreneurial framework aside for later? Like, how are we going to approach this?
Thank you. I can't hear you, Jacques, but I guess you've said I can go ahead.
Yeah,
I think David will show us. David has already done a proposal that he wants to show us about how the entrepreneurial one will fit together.
Okay.
I think these 98 are qualities of soul, and I think that we are all being taught at this very moment because Spirit wants us to understand what soul growth is about. And so it's our own teaching that is taking place that we will then, once we understand things like tolerance and kindness and love and patience, we will then understand what it is that young children have to learn in their families that will allow their souls to grow better. So I guess that's my understanding, that the universe was designed for the growth of souls. And so the celestials are interested that we learn these things as well.
It's fully my understanding too.
Okay.
Maybe Kona has some word with Sanjad because she's coming back in quite time.
Thank you. This is Sandra. Yes, Martha, you are quite right. Very perceptive that your learning must take place prior to your being able to teach others. These are foundational principles in which most of you live and breathe and operate. But there is still much more learning for you to do. This will give you that greater depth of knowledge. Take your time with these things. This is foundational and essential for, as you say, the growth of souls and for the evolution on your planet. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Okay,
Thanks.
that makes
Thanks,
sense.
Sonia.
B, that's clear for you now?
Yes, it is clear. I like to know how things will proceed, but I understand. I understand it from that perspective. I just had some practical questions. That's all.
Okay, thank you, B. Juan, any comment from the... Yes, Juan, you can speak.
Para B, casualmente el plan de estudio va a constituir las bases sólidas para construir los centros de enseñanza familiar. Sobre esos principios, sobre esos sentimientos humanos, sobre toda esa sabiduría, es que se van a fundamentar los centros de aprendizaje. Si no tenemos las bases, ¿cómo vamos a construir? Yo por lo menos sé cómo se hace una organización empresarial. Yo tuve empresas. Pero si no tenemos las bases, el conocimiento para construirla, ¿cómo lo vamos a hacer? Entonces, el silabario y el sílabo es en sí la base sobre la que nos vamos a fundamentar para crear los centros de enseñanza.
Okay, I think I understand.
Yes, Mart?
I was loving what Anne just said, because basically he's just pointing out we don't know enough at the moment to start a family learning center. So all of us are being put through this 2-year syllabus to learn what we need to know in order to start the family learning center.
Right. Okay, that does make sense.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I was thinking about the feedback that Jeff gave us last week, and in a way, I understand what he was saying. So that's why I'm asking these questions of how things, how we aim to fit them together, so that we make efficient use of our time. But I think that makes sense. That makes sense.
But
And
yes, Marta, go ahead.
I just want to quickly add to what B was saying. Maybe Jeff has done his 2 years and he doesn't need to do this with us. He's already given us some information. But I think Jeff might have done those 2 years many times in the 20 years that he was with Daniel.
Probably, because there were lots, even in the time I was there are lots of repetitive themes
No.
that I noticed kept coming up again and again.
So, but what you said, Marta, is so important, that it is a way for us to train first ourselves before we go further. That makes really, really great sense.
And also that, I guess when we're doing this family learning center, everything depends on, I don't want to say it, well, I'm going to say it, everything depends on the parents, right? The child comes into the world innocent and ready to be guided. And they really, really do depend on the example and the guidance that is set by the parents in order to move forward in the world. So I suppose we will be educating the parents so that they can educate their children. Yeah. So if the parents can't educate their children, then or we can't help the parents educate their children, then somehow we will have failed.
Yeah, Kona's hand was up.
Sorry, Kona had to blow her nose. Um, and this is somewhere between Kona and Sandra, because Sandra had a message, and it's simply that it may not take you the full 2 years because you have been diligent in the work all along. So it may not be necessary for you to pay attention to timetables in your time frame as you think it is, because the work has been done. You are simply searching to put it together into one place.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Wow, we make good progress today. Suddenly, I am the feeling that we are doing a real co-creative activity. I feel it really for the not the first time, but really is so important that it is living this electrical connection between us, but celestials too. Wow, wow, Kona, you did well.
No, I do feel it. I do feel the bond that is, that is forming and strengthening between us.
Yeah. What I have understood from the Melchizedek training centers, their own centers, is you need first to put your hand in the cambouis, in the business first, to be real.
Right.
I've understood that from the Urantia book, they never give the full solution. They wait us to dig, and once we have something done, then they confirm or not. In this activity of the 98 items, I think we can go, we will have a number of items to think about it, but I would propose you that we have to agree at least to start the business on one item to try to put this syllabus from A to Z. You see? From the theory,
like
from the theory to the example.
Okay.
At least to do it. So I don't know which item we can search for or which one you want to do. Because you said tolerance. There are so many items. Forgiveness, tolerance, intuition, courage, relationship, philosophy, science, worship, adoration. So I don't know which one do you. Yes.
May I suggest, and it would be nice to ask Sonia as well. I think forgiveness has often been pointed out as a very important one to start with. When I started in 2012, when I started my waking up and having 2-hour sessions, the first thing I was put through was forgiveness. So maybe we should ask Sonia.
This is Sandra. Thank you for that question. I will describe it to you like this. You have your 7 core values. Think of that as the top of the tree. And underneath the top of the tree, you have the pieces and the parts that support the top of the tree all the way down to the root. Or you can even do it the other way around, and you have your 7 core values as your root system, and what do they build up from there. All of these terms are interrelated. They connect to each other to form a complete full organism, as you might say, a full picture. So start with your 7 core values and even truth, beauty, and goodness, and see where it goes from there in your search and understanding. This might also be a constructive way for you to organize this work.
Okay.
that provide
Thank
us
you.
very
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
direction to
Thank you
start.
very much.
Jack,
Yes.
Jack, ¿te acuerdas la lista que yo te envié?
Yes, yes, I have it. Yeah, I have everything.
Can you show it to us?
Yes.
Is it?
No, it's I was looking for it 10 minutes ago.
Oh,
So
Sí,
can we share?
sí, porque
Can we share?
ahí hay bastantes palabras ahí que podrían, y están en diferentes idiomas a la vez.
This is Kona. Sandra is just having a great time over here. He's so excited. Just the emotion is overwhelming, the excitement that I'm feeling from
Oh, that's beautiful.
it's just it's really an amazing and unbelievable feeling. Just this warm presence of excitement on behalf of the work that you're doing. So I just wanted to share that.
And also because the work that we're doing is so related to Vicky and her concern for us continuing to be a learning organization. It's so clear that that is what we're being taught to do, is to learn some more because we don't know enough to start teaching.
All interrelated.
But Kona, while Jacques is looking, is it possible for you now as Kona to show us one example of taking one core value, like love, for instance, and what goes then underneath it all the way to the roots?
Sure. So as I was getting that picture, let's say you have the love, and then you have empathy, and you have compassion, and you have forgiveness, and you have kindness, and you have gentleness, and you have trust. All of those things that support love, right? In my experience, I had to I received instruction 7 years at a time, and my first instruction was to live by the law. And I lived by the law for 7 years after becoming a Christian. And I got to the end of the 7 years, and Spirit asked me, "Have you attained love?" And I said, "No, I haven't." He said, "Law will never lead to love." And then I had to go through 7 years of grace. And I made all the mistakes in the world, and we got to the end of that 7 years, and I had compassion because I'd made a lot of mistakes, and I'd received a lot of grace in the process. So it gave me compassion for people who make mistakes. And so all of these things build each other. So where the law, as we understand it, depending on your religious background, where we hear the law is there to bring our attention to sin, it really is to bring our attention to those things that we do to other people that cause distress, right? Don't do these things because this is going to break relationship. Once you have relationship and you have compassion and you have love, then there's no need for a law to tell you what to do and not to do, right? So love is like a foundation, but it's also like an umbrella. And everything really is to get you to the culmination of love, which is the top of that tree, right? Growth, equality, equity, quality of life. Those things are to bring you to that overarching love of the universe. And so if you're trying to get there, what's the base and the roots and the branches that go there that support that, all of the different pieces? Does that answer your question in kind of a roundabout way, a visual?
That's interesting what you said, Kona, because it reminds me of the part in the Urantia book where they talk about the stages of revelation. So where Jesus actually, I forget exactly where I read that somebody asked him about the difference between, you know, what he was saying and what the Old Testament was saying, and how to resolve that. And I think Jesus's answer was that, you know, because things are, because basically celestials meet us where we're at. So at those times, you know, that's what they needed. They needed the structure, they needed the rules. They didn't understand enough about science, like for instance, eating raw pork or any of those things. So they had to be made into rules that were to be followed for their own safety and also for their own good. But then as you evolve, as I guess as the society evolves and our spirits evolve, we start doing things not for the fear of doing the wrong thing, but because it's the right thing to do. Right? You start from a period where you're told not to do something or else, right? And ideally, it should be, you should do something because, right? So anyway, I just thought it was interesting the way you said that. It just reminded me.
Yes, Martha?
Thank you. That also reminds me of my philosophy background, that the German philosopher Immanuel Kant, Kant,
Yes,
he
I've heard of them.
always, I was doing that for the transcript. He always said that people should follow the moral law. And he said, unfortunately, that doesn't work for women because they do good because they like doing good, not because they have to do good. Whereas, so I thought that was, he says it doesn't, you have to do it even if you don't like doing it. But he says women like to do good, so it doesn't work for them.
Yes, Kona? Kona?
That's funny.
It's interesting as well because in my training to become an educator and in both psychology and abnormal psychology, we start our children evolve this way, right? Children don't know how to reason, they don't know to do the right thing because it's the right thing. So often it's because of reward and punishment, right? They want to receive the reward and avoid the punishment, and that's the way that our brains work as we grow. And if there's a trauma in a child's life, they get stuck in this place of, I'll do this because it's a reward, it's a pleasure, and I won't do this because it's a pain. It's this pleasure versus pain. And abnormal psychology, people who sociopaths, psychopaths, they get pleasure from causing pain, which creates a disjoint in our society. But the highest, just like what you said, Martha, the highest place that a person can operate from is to do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, and it will cause the greatest good to the overall community, whether it causes the person personal pain, to do the right moral thing for the overall good of the community is the highest moral value, right? And so what you're talking about is this progression, but children are still in that place. My point is, in your family learning centers, right, you start with this understanding of how children operate in pain versus pleasure, but you want to create an environment where the right moral choice is the greatest pleasure. And we don't come from that place because we are in a broken world. But how can create an environment where a person's greatest pleasure comes from the right moral choice? And that can be a solid foundation in your family learning center, and one that this world has not yet experienced from the foundation, from childhood.
Maybe that means like rewarding children for doing the right thing when they do it rather than punishing them for when they do the wrong thing.
Absolutely.
Telling the truth. I'll give you an example. As an educator, and trying to teach children that the truth is always the best, I was constantly faced with their examples where the truth got them in trouble. I'll get in trouble if I tell the truth. I will be punished if I tell the truth. Very cases where, they cannot, if they're homosexual, they can't be out. They can't be honest with their family because they'll be punished. So it's a moral dilemma in society with people not being able to be authentic because they get in trouble. They're not accepted. They're judged. They're punished for being authentic. We have to change that. And the core of that, especially with truth, beauty, and goodness, the core of that with truth is to reward children for telling the truth, even if the truth is not something that you are particularly comfortable with. I tried to raise my children. I don't care what you did, you need to be honest with me. And when they weren't honest with me is when they got in the most trouble. So they had to be honest. So it's a huge dilemma in our society and with our current children, the way that they're raised. So we just need to really consider that.
You manage very well, dear woman. Huh, Juan? We just listen, but you manage and you have all the wisdom of this age. Yes, I think so. Great. It will be worthwhile to listen the recording again to extract the pearl we have said today and with the validation of Sandra. I found the file. Where is it, this file? Wow, not this one.
Can you share it's at the bottom? In the
Oh,
green
no.
one, if it's not showing at the moment.
Let me say, no, it just disappeared. Oh, okay, it's this one. So where is the sharing
You
now?
must just click in the bottom. I think it's underneath where the text is.
I think also I don't have the bottom for the time being, so I need to do another manipulation. Sorry. Okay. Where is the zoom now? Where is the zoom now? I'm looking at the icon sharing.
Can you see it?
Okay. Yes, I see it. But it disappears sometimes. Share screen. Okay.
Did David allow us?
You can see it? You can see it?
Yeah.
Okay. This list here, there are several items on the bottom, like original list, compiled list, Martha list, Jacques list, David, Juan, and so on. So
wonderful.
if I take the compiled list, okay. You see, we have already.
Wow.
Huh?
How many? And they're alphabetical as well. Yes.
Yeah.
How many do we have?
98, 99, 98, 99, 98, exactly.
But many
98.
are repeated.
Yeah. This also the job of Juan. Juan made number of items. And when I put it in yellow is because it's duplicated between people from you or me. Okay. I made a list here sorted by rank. I mean, I go to the Urantia book and I search the keyword science and I found 2084, tolerances 848, truth
Beautiful.
832, 7 core values 650, love 6. You see? So on this list we have many items, and
wow,
if we go for tolerant, they are sorted by alphabetical order as well. So we have many items here.
Excellent job you've done for putting it all together. Thanks, Jacques. Could you quickly tell us how many times forgiveness appears?
Forgiveness. Forgiveness. No,
There it
I
is, number
didn't have the
20.
forgiveness. I have forgetfulness
for-
7 times.
It's
No,
number
here,
20.
44.
Oh, so not so many. Yeah. Okay.
No. I did that because it was a way for me to make a priority list.
Yes, beautiful. Mm,
But now we
thank
have a new angle of attack. I mean, because if we start
Mhm.
by this 7 value to build this foundation and this pillar of our syllabus, so this is a new direction, and it is quite easier to start. And including beauty, goodness, and equality, and this is we can start with this item.
May I ask, it's not so clear to me yet, and I know I've asked Kona and she's explained to me, but if we put these 7 core values as little blocks at the top and we add truth, beauty, and goodness, so now we have 10, are you saying that all the other ones have to go underneath each one of them? I mean, that we have to find out which goes best, so we say beauty, and then we look for all the things that go under beauty, or how are we going to do that? Your tree, Kona, I know you've tried to explain to me, but in practice.
Right. In practice, this might be a practical application of the Miro board. It's like sticky notes, right? If each word is on a sticky note and you take a great big piece of paper and you put them on there and then you start looking at how they relate to each other. And if you were to draw lines from one to the other, how are they grouped and how are they related? And where does forgiveness come in the place of love and compassion? I mean, how does that finger in, right? Does that make more sense? It's you
So
can't
you have
do it
to
in a
cut them
linear.
all. You have to cut 98 words up and then move them around until you find where they best go. Yeah?
Right.
Something
Yeah,
like that.
something like that.
So this is a mirror exercise.
Yeah. So David must come back.
And you see here, beauty on this line is 145, and this is an extract of the Jesus Chabot about beauty. And I ask, on this website where there is a AI link, I don't know if it's fully linked with the Urantia book, but it seems so.
Yeah.
It is the title of this website is Ask Jesus. And I have what is beauty, and I ask my question, what is beauty? And the answer came, beauty, my dear friend, is a wonderful and profound concept. It is a recognition and appreciation of harmony, balance, goodness in the world around us. So you see here, we have already 3 other words, harmony, balance, goodness. So everything
Under beauty.
under
Yeah.
beauty. And here it says beauty can be found in many different forms, such as nature, art, music, even in relationship we have with others. So this came so I have already shared this file to you, but I will share it again. So we have done 1 hour 15 minutes. So I think we managed very, very well today. Thinking about the future for us now is to concentrate on these items, on the syllabus, while we will wait from David to work on the project itself. Does that make sense for you, or yes, Matt?
I have a second, as they say in Spanish, inquietud. Something that's cropping up and kind of bothering me is we had done those 7 questions and then we are done the 9 questions. But I was wondering if we can't condense them even more, even if people have a few minutes now. I'm not sure what time you'd like to finish, Jacques, but I was thinking if we could take the 7 questions and try and condense them more, so we can come up almost with one thing under each category
Okay.
that we all agree on, and do the same for the 9 questions, if people have time.
We have done 1 hour and a quarter. So if we say we just stick to the 2-hour maximum, it leaves us for 45 minutes.
Mhm.
And you want to see the
Because you summarized the 9 questions and also the 7 questions.
yes. So which one do you want to start with? The
The
9
7?
question? The 7.
Oh, the 7?
Let me check. Last time
Maybe we can't condense. Or the 9. Should we start with the 9?
Okay. Okay, I can start
Did
with
you
the
make a
9.
decision about what to do with your 98 words? Did you make a decision about what to do for our next meeting before you move on to something else?
Okay. For me, first item to share with you these 9, and we need to extract from these 9 the items linked with 7 values. Does that make sense? Is that complex? I think it's really possible to do it. Each one propose something from this list to list items with link with the 7 values.
So you're saying the list of 98 to link those with the 7 values. Did I hear that
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The way
Okay.
you
Each one
suggested.
each one propose from this list something. Of course, then we have to use my arrow. It would be better to make the flow between them.
Has that
But
been
we can,
resolved? We have access to the same Miro board?
yeah.
Do we?
But for me, it's because it's through David, if I understand well.
Well, who's going to talk to David next first?
I'm seeing him on Saturday.
So can you find out if we have a common Miro board to work from?
Okay. Okay.
And if we do, great. If not, I can look into what it would take to get us on a common Miro board
Thank you, Kona.
to assist.
Let me ask him. I'm going to send him a message so I don't forget.
Sure. And then if Juan, if you're going to send these out, then I would love to take a look at, being creative with those between now and then, either on the Miro board or on a poster board. I'm not sure, time permitting, because we're moving this week. It's a lovely concept. I mean, that picture that I was getting, I'm like, oh wow, that's pretty cool. I love it when things are not my idea. When I get them from the Celestials, I'm like, oh wow, that's pretty cool. I like that.
Okay, so I am sharing with you the 9 questions and their associated answers. Question 1 to 4 were validated. You want to go to summarize more, or we can stick with this one?
I was suggesting because is there one sentence that will summarize them all that we could put at the bottom? Because they all have to do with families not functional.
Dysfunctional family.
It's almost like current families don't teach one how to be a good parent, something like that. Because if your parents don't love you or they abuse you, they don't give you the model to learn how to be a parent to your own children. So basically, all of them are saying families are not, families can't teach good parenting because they don't, because they don't have good parenting.
And this is a family. Please. This is a summary of all that. This one.
I don't know. I'm asking other people.
No.
But we can say my family can't teach good parenting.
I agree with that. I would also say my family can't teach me how to be in a healthy relationship.
Okay.
But
so both things, yeah.
This is another.
Oh, yeah.
And I can add cannot teach good parenting and
being in a healthy relationship.
I don't know how to be in a healthy relationship because it was never modeled to me.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Yeah, that's a good line. I'm sorry that we're making you. Shall I type it so you don't have to have the hard work, Jacques?
No, it's okay. No, it's okay. Yeah.
Marta.
Yes, Juan.
La palabra good, parenting está mala.
Yeah, no, good needs, the G has to become a D.
Okay, yeah.
And parenting needs a R.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Yeah. And then family is singular, so it's family LY instead of IES.
Yes, because it's my family. Okay, cannot teach good parenting and being an healthy.
Then in a healthy. So after being, we have to put the word in. In and then a, yeah. In and then a healthy, yeah.
Okay. Summarizing this one, alternative.
B had said a good second alternative, if we can just put a slash there. B, do you want to repeat your question, your comment?
Oh, which one was it? I'm a little bit visually impaired at the moment.
I know, it's the first one. My family cannot teach good parenting and being in a healthy I cannot. I don't know how to have a healthy relationship because
my parents never modeled it for me.
Yeah. So if you can put it in the second line, maybe. I don't. Yeah. Oh no, we have to start a new line. Oh no, I can't. It starts with I don't know how to I don't know how to have a good relationship. So you must put it in the beginning. Yeah.
Part of the first one though, because you already have being in a healthy relationship. I think you can add it to the end of that.
Yeah.
Just being in a healthy relationship because my parents didn't.
Okay. Because my parents. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Sorry. Yeah, that's perfect then. Because my parents never modeled did not model it.
Or never.
It's okay. Did not just
It's
modeled.
better?
Yeah.
Never modeled or did not?
Either way.
Never modeled it for me. Okay, perfect. Because I think all of that goes together, yeah. Existing alternatives?
It's all about training.
Training in parenting, yeah. So we can say training in, should we say training in parenting and therapy and personal therapy.
Oh, sorry.
So training or
Oh,
TRA.
training. I leave
There's
the
an M
L
in front
before.
that has to go, yeah. Perfect.
It just took it. So training.
Training in parenting. Oh, training in parenting.
In.
So the and must become in. And therapy. And maybe say and therapies, because it's different kinds of therapies, personal, marriage, counseling, couples.
There is something wrong.
Yeah.
There is
That's
something.
perfect.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's
Say
perfect.
please. Okay.
Therapies is correct.
And do we add the training and therapy? No, training in parenting and therapies using best practices, because we said everywhere here. No?
Yeah, we can say best practices. Yeah. Oh, yeah, best practices. Sure, absolutely. Because it was mentioned. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so those two are done.
Okay. This here.
That's speaks for itself.
Ouais.
Maybe we can take the 2 lines away, the 2 open lines, we can make it smaller so it takes up less space before
Yes.
Q2.
Yeah.
That's
this
it.
one. Yeah. Okay.
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 In evaluation forms. Okay. So that
Or-
is, yeah.
Q2. It
Yes,
says
Kona.
what is your solution and how does it
Mm.
solve your problems? Perhaps that means attending a family learning center rather than creating. We're creating
Mm.
for the person. They're
Okay.
not creating it. They're attending a family learning
Yeah.
center.
So attending, yeah.
So attending a family learning center and or training in parenting and or therapies, right? Because we provided them the solution. So what is their solution? Their solution is to train in parenting and to go through therapy and go to the family learning center or whatever is available.
Training in parenting. So that's word is training and or training in parenting rather than the and or training in parenting.
Okay.
And Kona, you'd said and therapy.
And going to
Sorry,
therapy.
and I didn't
So-
hear. So,
And going to be.
and going to therapy. Okay. Going to therapy.
B, it's why?
Why do
Question
we?
2 and 3 are the
That-
same.
Yeah, Q2 and Q3 are the same.
It's probably
Q3
because
is the same.
you have to go back to the original.
No, because no. Yeah, I see what you mean. No, but it's the same. Wait, let me check.
Está repetida la pregunta 2 y la
Sí.
3.
Eso es lo que nos estamos dando cuenta.
I am looking at the original file.
Yeah.
So Q2, what is your solution and how does it solve your problem? And Q3 is what indicator
Okay.
do
Oh,
you
okay.
use?
So we have to change what indicators. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, it was a bad
Mm.
copy paste.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Here we go. Perfect. So then that's fine.
Can I see question 1 and 2 again, please?
Sorry.
Go, can I see the very first question again, please?
First question.
I see how this is structured. What is your solution is directed towards us, where what problems? Okay, I misread that. My apologies. Question 2 is directed towards us. My apologies.
Okay.
Mhm.
Indicators.
Oh, so we can say
Creating. Right.
creating. Oh, so we have to fix that again.
I misread that. My apologies.
So we must say creating a family learning center
Right. That is
instead of
our
attending.
solution. Right.
Okay.
Pronouns.
And or
Pronouns.
training and parenting and providing, then we have to say providing therapy.
But we decided that wasn't going to be in our
Yeah, what we can do. So we can take so we must just take and going to therapy away, because that's the alternative. Or
Does this
Mhm.
leave it
yeah,
like that?
perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect indicators. Perfect. Okay.
Okay. Indicators. But we have said that for the family learning center in short term is all evaluation form and quality assurance and feedback.
Yeah.
Then we see a long term in community and long term in society. So we say stable, sustainable family, that's in a community. And in society, eco-conscious community or neighborhood.
Can I make a comment
Yes.
about the that we're not providing counseling? I mean, we don't have to. I just find it kind of odd that if we're saying that, one of the main problems is that children don't have a good model from their own parents to become good parents. How are we going to accomplish that if we don't offer, or at least refer them to some solid marital counseling? Because it seems to be a major problem in couples today.
B, if I may, with your
Yes.
permission, Jacques, I think you
Yeah.
said the right word, which is refer. I think that's also
Okay.
what Daniel suggested, is that find all the people who have the answers and refer them to them.
But
So
should we not also be teaching the children how to have healthy relationships?
We're
yes,
going
but
to model it with a 98.
Okay.
so we are in
Kona's
question.
hand?
Yes, Kona?
So if I remember correctly, this was a subject of conversation, and it would make sense for you, in your location to decide, does the family therapist have an office in your family learning center, right? Do you have a licensed practicing person to help those? And there was discussion between providing services to people who are functional versus dysfunctional. And I know that Daniel had one perspective, which I was not completely clear on. I think it's a valid conversation. Kona thinks it's a valid conversation to discuss. Well, would it be appropriate to have your family, children, parenting, relational therapist have an office in your family learning center? What role could that play? It's worth the conversation, in my humble opinion. Whether it belongs here or elsewhere. I think that you raise a good point.
I think it would only make sense to offer that if it is such a problem in our society, in many societies. It sort of doesn't make sense to say, okay, you're going to come to our center to learn how to parent. But if you know, and it's very vital that the relationship between you two is very vital, that it's healthy. But if it's not, we'll send you somewhere else. Like it just doesn't sound. It just like I can just imagine the look on the client's face, right? Like it would make more sense if if I'm coming to you to advise me on how to become a better parent, and if my relationship with my partner or my spouse or whatever is suboptimal, it would make more sense that it would be in-house. But that's just my opinion.
Thanks, B. May I then just suggest, isn't it like going to to your GP? Your GP will see you at any time, but if you need more specialized treatment, he refers you to a specialist.
Okay, well then our center would need to have a good referral process, because I can tell you when I went to my eye specialist, because so they're laser and eye surgeons, and I said, they have optometrists that work with them, and I said, well, I need an optometrist in the community. They were not able to refer me to anyone. Like they went on Google and said, well, this one has 4.9 stars, you could go try this one.
Kona, raise them. Kona, please.
So one of the visions that I had for the medical community is literally to have all of your specialists under the same roof. And when I was a chaplain, briefly last year with the Emory Winship Cancer Institute, they were trying a new model to make it easier for the patients. So the patients, based on their cancer diagnoses, had one floor that they were assigned to, and the specialist came to them. Because when you have cancer and you're sick, it's very hard to go here to radiation, there to see this doctor, here to see this doctor. And so they were trying a new model of having the patient centered and then the people come to there. So just because things are a certain way now doesn't mean they need to stay that way. And I think there's value in creating a system. I mean, when I was, this is part of my systems building mentality. A good doctor's office has your CP, your specialist, your chiropractor, your acupuncture, your nutritionist, all underneath the same roof, right? Because that's what creates the whole person. I have found one practice in all of Atlanta that did that vision. And they were doing it relatively well, but without the technology really to be functional. But they were attempting that. So having your therapist at the Family Learning Center has value, but then you want to think about, well, does that mean you also want fitness classes? Do you also want a place to learn spirituality and meditation? Do you want to learn yoga? What else are you trying to bring into that umbrella organization to meet the needs of the family and to grow the needs of the family? Again, it's worth having that conversation.
That makes sense to me.
So what do you suggest here is to complete this sentence like creating a family learning centers and or training in parenting that will include this is what you're saying.
Your family learning center can include so many things, right?
Yeah.
You get to create your family learning center. What do you want your family learning
center to have?
Yeah.
I do strongly feel there should be some form of counseling on site. Otherwise, you're saying, like I said before, I'm going to teach you how to have a better relationship, but if you have problems, you have to go somewhere else. Right? It's sort of counterintuitive.
Is that okay this way or not? It's just a parenthesis that we
Yeah.
will not forget it, that we cannot forget
Mhm.
this
Yeah.
discussion.
Yeah,
Is
we
that
can
okay?
leave the door open.
Yeah.
There's a new, thanks through you, Jacques, there's a new model of functional medicine where they suggest whenever a doctor sees a patient, they see 10 patients with the same problem at the same time. And it seems like such a wonderful idea for the doctor to learn as much as possible and people to learn from each other. So it just seems like another, similar people who've
Yeah.
lost their parents early or have a child with a disability. I mean, I guess isn't it like any other support group? It's just like basically a support group, but also for doctors to learn more. So that also comes up of we can classify different issues together so that people can learn from each other.
Yeah.
Yes, I did have that idea about the learning center. I know that's jumping ahead, but support groups are very important. That's almost like having a small learning group, like small group learning, versus sitting in a lecture hall, listening to one person talk.
If I may just add to what B has just said, there's a world best practice in Sweden called study circles, that in a country of, I don't know how many people, but they have about 2 million people every year learning 30-hour courses over 10 weeks. So it's 3 hours once a week with 10 other people. And there's more than 200, I don't know how many, 200,000 of these small learning circles that people can learn from, and many of them are for free. So Sweden has a best practice in these small learning circles of 10 people over about 10 weeks.
That actually I can say in my medical school, this was of course 30 years ago now, but almost. My school was one of the first in North America to follow Harvard University and McMaster University in the small group learning. And how it would work is that we would get a case study, and it would be based on a real case, and we would analyze it from various so we would use the case as a means of learning. So, I mean, that's something I think we could apply to the family learning centers, using a case and then asking the participants, various questions around, what they might recommend, and then we were always sent, we also determined our own homework and divvied that up. So it involved a lot of interaction.
I think you are doing very well, but we are going now into the detail. It will be
Yes,
the
I know.
family
Sorry
study
for
center.
jumping ahead.
We have
Yeah.
we have just 15 minutes left if we want to go a little bit further. So
Sorry, yes.
look what I have said here. Creating a family learning centers and or training in parenting that will include formal counseling inside to support families, and I add or group of families together. This is your idea, to share experience. This is a good, of course, a plus.
You must just put
Okay.
groups of families or groups of families, just an S there, thanks.
Okay. What indicators could you use to determine your product or service successfully? So short term is
those, yeah.
we can leave. I think it's okay. And we were stopping last time at the question 4. What is your perceived use value? What do you better compare to others? And what is your creativity or your innovation? So I have noticed that few notice our innovation are because we use best practices from all culture. This, I think, is a positive point.
Maybe that's the one.
Important, huh?
And holistic, so it's holistic best practices, because maybe we can get one answer from all those answers. What is our perceived use value? Okay. And the 7 values?
7
I think
values. Ah
let's
ouais,
put the
yeah.
7 values in red and then take them away where it's copied.
7 values. Where is I have 7 universal values.
Values-based decision. Oh, there we go. Let's see if there's more.
Okay, this is the full page.
Mhm.
I like
Yeah.
values-based institution. In fact, all of Earth should be overtaken by values-based institutions.
Hmm.
But where do you find it? This one? Sorry. Value-based institution. It is written somewhere?
Yeah, that's our advantage, is that we are going to be
Okay, value-based
a
institution.
values-based institution, and that should be applicable in
Oh,
all
yeah.
fields.
Should we say institution? Yeah.
And decision making, perhaps.
Yeah.
Mm.
So we can say, we can add and decision make. Yeah, there we go.
Okay. We keep it like this, huh? So Family Learning Center is just above. Best parenting practices from all culture. Value-based institution and decision making. Using seven values. Huh?
We've got that at the top, values.
Well, you
Ah,
could,
oui. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I meant it to be the same.
It's the same, so I just remove
So
this
we
one.
can put that, yeah, okay.
Base institution. And then encourage clear vision,
Especially
okay.
teens and young
Find best
so that's
practices. Growth in people, okay. So empowering building.
yeah.
I
So
think
those are
we
details for later. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
What make you unrepeatable, and what is your unfair advantage compared to other? I think this is the one very important one.
Celestial take.
Oh yes, for me, yes. Let me take the
Mhm.
copy of this. Okay. Here. Okay. It's not only based on
Oh,
celestial
sure, yeah.
teaching, but it is based and I would say supported.
By
Is
and then
okay
also, can we add there the conscious contact with spirit by celestial teachings and conscious contact with spirit? That's the first one under David.
Ouais, conscious contact.
With spirit, it's the first one that David has there.
Yeah, I agree. That's very important. In fact, that's basically
What
the Celestials want us to teach children is to contact their sun adjusters. Like number one, I think.
Celestials want us to teach children. It's a lovely line. May I just say, I have a 14-year-old son in the other room, and they don't necessarily want us to teach them with celestial materials.
No, I know.
My son talks about my cult. He says, Mom, are you part of your cult again? Are you busy with your cult again?
Well, you know what? You could rephrase rather than saying thought adjuster, use different words. You can say the same thing with same idea with many words.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But
that's what I try to do. Like, with my
yeah.
near-death experience group, I don't say thought adjuster or people would go silent.
Yeah, sure. Based on practices, we do contact with spirit, multi-generational, 7 values, conscious of their role. So it's okay.
You had it there as well. We're supported by celestial agencies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And also we here we say that we see in a very long term as well. Huh? Usually program is short term.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway.
Does any of that could be narrowed down to use the term socially sustainable, some of that.
Yeah, yes.
Mhm.
It's a socially
Maybe
sustainable,
we
or I'm not
can we
quite
say
sure.
socially sustainable long-term celestial teachings? Can we add it in front of celestial teachings?
Alors, where do I start? Based on
Supported by socially sustainable or celestial teachings on social sustainability. Would that make more sense?
Yeah, it makes
Well,
more
the
sense.
families should lead to social sustainability.
I was just looking at the some of the things down below, and what came to mind is that under Jacques, some of those statements are indicative of social sustainability. So I didn't know if any of those could be condensed to be socially sustainable.
Well, most what do you call it? Let's put it this way: our institution would be the only one that has social sustainability as an outcome measure, because most of them don't use that as an outcome measure. In fact, I don't know of any that do. They help the individual, but they don't have their eyes on the larger prize, which is the whole community.
I think under Jacques, where it says we see very, very long term, including future era for this planet, that's where the social sustainability comment came from.
Exactly.
And I can't see
You would
Juan.
say, yeah, for future. But I think we need to keep the conscious contact with spirit.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
so I don't know how to fit it. Based and supported by celestial teaching on social sustainability for future era of this planet. And it is also based.
You can put it before, you could say based and supported by conscious contact with spirit and celestial beings.
Okay, yeah.
Conscious contact with celestial
And
Spirit
celestial
spirit
teachings.
and celestial teaching. Good.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we had done all here.
Is there one more? How many have we done now?
But
There are 9, right?
we will, yeah, we will not
6,
finish
that's
because we have
26.
just 5 minutes.
Okay.
So I
Okay, true.
propose
Yeah.
that either we have a conclusion from Sanjad, or
Okay, let me see.
if we have something.
Sure, I'm still aware of his presence. Let me see if there's something to be said.
And please save your file.
It's done.
Thank you.
Done.
Hello, my friends. This is Sandra. Very good work today, very complete. We enjoy very much watching you progress through this process, creating, explicating, extracting all of the information available to you to create and co-create with us. It's very exciting to see the work that you are doing. We are learning so much on this side. Trust me, it's very exciting. And Kona, yes, felt my deep excitement at watching this process and watching you work through synergistically your thoughts and challenges and questions. So very good from our perspective, the work that you are doing. We look forward to our next encounter. And until then, keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Así es,
much.
Sandra.
Thank you, Kona. Thank you, Sonia. And thank you, Jacques. And Juan being.
Gracias a todos.
Yes, I think we had a good session. And I
Yeah, we had
think,
a lovely session. Thank you.
yeah, I
It
think
was
we
very
have to
good.
learn to challenge each other and without, like, in a respectful manner, without, because that's how we get through things, right? We have to learn how to, I guess, yeah, like, what am I trying to say? Yeah, challenge each other, but in a respectful manner and without taking any, anything personally, right? And that way I think we'll get the most work done.
Yeah, we did very well, for sure. So I've noted as an
Thank you.
action to send you the listing.
Mhm.
From this listing, you will extract, select the item listed with those who are linked with the 7 values, including beauty, goodness, and equality. But equality is already included. We do this
Beauty.
exercise.
Beauty and goodness. Truth, beauty, and goodness.
Yeah,
Mhm.
this is one exercise we can do, and then we'll come up, and then we will continue to review this question, and then we will see from David what he has to share with us on the project itself. Is that clear? Is that okay for you?
Perfect.
Makes
And
sense.
what I will do, because this time I extract the text from the recording. I have used Author, but Author is very limited of 30 minutes recording if you don't pay. But if I extract the text from the caption, it works very well finally. And I will extract some word, and then maybe with the help of Marta, we have something, at least for the Sanjad suggestion. Okay, we'll do something like that. Thank you so much. Yeah,
Gracias, Jacques.
Thank you very much.
Gracias a todos.
Marta.
Martha,
Yes.
I wanted to copy the captions before we leave, view full transcript, and then save the transcript as well. Okay, perfect, because I couldn't do it last time. Thanks.
appreciate
Merci
you guys.
beaucoup. Hasta
Thank you.
luego,
Yeah.
Dr.
Hasta
Juan.
luego.
Have a
Gracias.
blessed
Bye.
week, everyone.
Bye,
Chao,
Kona.
chao, Marta.
Lovely.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao
Lovely
a
meeting.
todos.
Ciao.
Bye. Best of
Bye-bye.
luck with your eyes, B. I
Oh,
hope they
thank
heal.
you. Yes, they're doing well so far. So thank you.
Wow.
It's just they're still healing, but they're doing well. Thank you. Have a
Marvelous of
great week
modern
all.
medicine. Bye-bye. Take
Yes.
care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Juan. ¿Cómo estás tú? Bien.
Bien, bien chévere. ¿Cómo has estado tú?
Muy bien, gracias, doctor.
Qué buena reunión
¿Tú
hoy.
puedes parar la recording o está al lado de...
No, está del lado del...
Entonces, hagamos un tiempo para hablar.
Ok, cuando quieras me
Ok,
llamas.
te llamo. Muchas gracias. Hasta
Gracias a ti.
luego.
Ok,
Ok, bye bye.
chao.